Welcome to another video by IB Blueprint. Today we answer a very commonly asked question. For Group 4, which subject should I choose? Biology, chemistry or physics? Now let's look at it from an ease perspective, looking at which one is the easiest. We'll define easy based on difficulty in obtaining a 7. Based on statistics and grade boundaries from the November 11 statistical report published by the IB. Rather than intellectual difficulty, which is difficult to quantify, we will use statistics and numbers. Let's first look at biology. There's a mean grade of 4.01 for SL and 4.69 at HL. Notice, HL is usually higher in terms of mean grade and percentage of students who get a 7 because the stronger students choose HL, not because HL is easier. With only 3% of students receiving a 7 at SL and 11% at HL, biology is clearly not particularly easy to get a 7. Looking at the grade boundaries, it is also reflected. You need 82% and above to get a 7 at standard level and 81% and above to get a 7 at higher level. Now let's contrast this to chemistry. We can see here that there's a much higher proportion of 7s. There's 14% of students receiving a 7 at standard level relative to just 3, and 26% at high level relative to 11% of biology. And we can see that this is characterized over a fairly large sample size as well in terms of number of candidates. Looking at the grade boundaries, it is also lower. See that 75 and above will get you a 7 at standard level, and 78 and above will get you a 7 at higher level. We can also see that the mean grade is much higher, particularly at higher level. With 20% of students achieving a 7, that's approximately 1 in 4 students. Physics, there's a much smaller sample size, but the trend is fairly clear. There's a much higher proportion of students receiving 7s. At SL, 23% of students achieve a 7, and at higher level, 30%. That's almost 1 in 3 students achieving a 7. This can potentially be attributed to a much lower cutoff. Looking at standard level, 68% and above will get you a 7. At higher level, 73% and above will get you a 7. Now, potentially this can be attributed to physics being more intellectually difficult. However, when you contrast 3% at SL to 23%, or 11% at HL to 30%, this can't be due to intellectual ability alone. In fact, statistically it would appear that physics is much easier to get a 7 in than biology. So, which subject should I choose? Well, based on difficulty alone, you should choose physics over chemistry and chemistry over biology. However, also factor in personal interest and ability, as well as prerequisites for tertiary admissions. Because ultimately, you want to choose a subject that you would enjoy the most and would most engage in, and that you'd be able to tolerate well for 2 years. And also, if you want to do engineering, you better do physics. Thank you. We hope you have found this video informative. Thank you for listening to IB Blueprint.